Build the family of your dreams with reproductive gynecology and infertility. RGI's expert physician team has over 30 years of experience offering personalized fertility treatment plans tailored just for you. Get started today. Your future family awaits. Book now at rgiohio.com.
I slouch, so I don't want to have a...
You're perfect.
Okay.
You're like my dream.
Thank you. You are too.
Thank you. I think I love you. Will you marry me?
She had me at pigs.
Will you marry me? Okay. This is how I just get real awkward with people real quick. You know, just
join the club.
Jacquie Mahan, welcome to the Carrie Croft Show.
Thank you. Is it on? Are we doing it?
This thing is on.
How's my hair?
It is. Everything is just, I mean, you came in and you really came to play. Like
came
the
for
sweater,
a spooky vibe.
The sweater, wasn't thinking spooky. I just thought this is really cool and it meshes perfectly with the studio.
It's what I wear too. I didn't want to like try too hard. I wanted to get, this is like original me.
It's perfect. And as we found out quickly, there's a vibe here.
I'm feeling it.
That's forming.
I did my homework. I listened to your podcast because I wanted to make sure that
you wanted to come on?
No, I definitely wanted to go on. I think that you're cool, but I wanted to make sure that I was good enough for you. So I wanted to make sure that I was hitting all the points. And I think I'm doing it. I mean, we've only been doing this for 45 seconds, but I think I'm nailing it so far.
You are 100% nailing it to a point of like, could every guest be you?
I'll come here every day. I don't live around here anymore. I moved out of UA. I live in Powell. I live in the boondocks.
How dare thee? How dare thee move out of the...
I left the bubble.
How did you possibly leave the bubble when you're from the bubble?
My partner has horses, and you can't have horses in Arlington. And we were a tight fit in that house. So it was time to expand and move on. I found a house in Powell, right in Shawnee Hills by the zoo. And we were right on the line where you're allowed to have livestock. So all the horses.
I love that for you.
All the king's men. And everybody lives there. And I got some pigs, which I've always wanted my whole life. So I'm like living that dream, living that middle-aged dream.
We're going to get to the pigs.
Great.
I'm
ready.
Don't worry. Because I know that your eyes just twinkle like a little...
It's a problem. I've caught myself I've embarrassed myself many times over talking about pigs, pig information, pig podcasts. Like, I've had to tone it down, slow my roll.
I don't think you should tone it down.
All right, I'm available to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. We are. But let's talk about the podcast first. So which ones did you listen to and which were your favorites?
Well, first of all, I just like the way that you interview people. Your voice sounds nice on there.
Oh, thank you.
And so it's nice to hear voices that sound good to your ear, makes you want to listen. So that's your compliment, genuinely. Top 3. I like listening to Diane Menashe. She is smart, thoughtful. She works her ass off, and you can feel it. And I know her, and I just know her heart, and she's just a really cool person. Dr. Kimberly Shepard, she's the best gynecologist in the world. She's mine. She delivered both my kids, and she does make people feel really special. So when you said that, I was like, I've been in that same room with those stirrups. And she does have, doctors don't usually have a bedside manner that's like warm and like makes you feel like comfortable and seen. So she did that, and I love that. And of course, your interview with Jenny Bauer was awesome, and she is like going on a vision quest and talking about mushrooms and traveling and Marie Antoinette. I was down with her.
Well, we have some more, psychedelic cannabis conversations on the docket, so keep listening.
Yeah, I'm a total square, so I have no idea what's going on over there. I'm fascinated by it. I will not go down that path in the forest, but I'm ready for all the stories from people, especially like fascinating, interesting women in Columbus. When I was scrolling, I was like, well, I know her. And it was fun to hear their voices beyond like the Instagram game. I love Lisa Suarez.
Oh gosh, yes.
She started her business from nothing, and she has quite an empire going on. And I love seeing her succeed too. I don't know her very well, but I just think she's really cool.
She's fire.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's the best. So I had heard about your company probably a couple years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, that's the best name ever for a company, the Awesome Company.
I couldn't believe the website was available.
So you're like, take me back to that time where you're noodling it in your head, where you're like, I want to do this. How do I name it?
Yeah. I'm 42. I was 35. I was having a moment of, I liked what I was doing, but I didn't love it. I owned a Pilates studio, which is still around. It's Body Pure Pilates in Gahanna. And I absolutely loved Pilates and wellness, but I wanted something more, and I wanted to get back to my creative roots, and I wanted to not get up at 5 a.m. and train people. Respect for people that do, but I wanted to change it up, and I needed a change. So I thought it would be really fun. The word awesome popped into my head, and I said, wouldn't it be cool to have like a gifting company and you could change whatever is awesome? Like Jackie is awesome, the Carrie Croft Show is awesome, Sunshine's awesome, brushing your teeth is awesome, like anything. And I go, well, that's it. I'm going to have a custom gifting company. So I bought the website, and I couldn't believe it was so cheap. And I asked a couple of friends to join in, and we started the company together. And they have since moved on, and we're still close friends to other things. But quickly I found that the business, like, your customer tells you what you need to do. Every idea you think you have is usually not maybe the best one. So once I sold my custom stuff, I had shirts and tote bags. I always say to your family, friends, and fools, then you're kind of done. And I was like, well, how am I going to keep working? And my business employs autistic adults. That's kind of an important part of it. How am I going to employ more autistic adults if I only have so many custom items to sell? So I scrapped my business plan, kept the name, kept employing autistic adults as being my core mission. And then I opened up a screen printing company. I bought more equipment. So I was doing custom t-shirts for schools, businesses, nonprofits. And then it really started to get bigger. And then I could employ more autistic adults. So really, we're just a custom printing and embroidery studio in Grove City, Ohio. But what we do is much more, as we connect with the autism community.
So what's the autism connection?
I have a son on the spectrum, and I used to say, oh, it's for him, but I'm kind of over that. And also he's over it. He is much older now. He doesn't want to be, he's very supportive. Both my kids are very supportive, but I feel like the mission is more mine now. So I've kind of, maybe that got my toe in the water being in that world, but just being Jackie, looking around saying, what can I do? Or how can I be creative? Or how can I get my brain to start rolling in different directions? I noticed in that world, with being around with him when he was little, what happens to autistic kids when they become autistic adults? And the answer is nothing. And I'm sure someone will call and go, well, that's not true. My autistic son has a Pulitzer Prize winner. Well, bravo, that's amazing. But for a lot of people, opportunities dry up, friendships, social circles, I call it living in your mom's basement disease, and it's bullshit, and I'm tired of it. So I wanted to do something. I do love when women and men and any person starts a business because maybe their child inspired them, but I'm kind of over it. I'm like, Snoop Dogg's like, I want to thank myself. Like, I want to thank myself for giving a shit and staying plugged in, because this community deserves an ally that will fight fiercely for them and give them a place to work and earn a paycheck and make some pals and not have stress. That's really all we do.
So, but with your son, did you know super early?
Yes.
What was that journey like?
I have an older son, and their birthdays are around the same time. And I remember my older son wearing this Grover shirt. It had Grover, remember Grover from Sesame Street? And at that time, my older son was talking in sentences to me, and I had the same Grover shirt on my second son, and he wasn't saying anything to me. And it was like some developmental, he was just kind of different. And I feel like I caught it pretty quick, 18 months, and he got into a lot of support groups and help, and he really has shot out into the universe, and he's doing exceptionally well. And he would love for me not to talk about him, but I think he'll be okay with this because I just adore him.
Typical kid, though.
Yeah.
They don't want to be
his trajectory is, I think he's going to be all right. And I think he's going to do great. And I don't worry about him too much. I've had to kind of take my suction cup fingers off of him because a lot of my helicopter parenting and maybe special needs parent stuff, I don't want to say the journey is over, but it's different. And so my focus now is with autistic adults and helping and mentoring them.
All right. So then out of how many employees that you have?
We have 10. Oh, goodness. In office, we have 14 people working. 10 have autism. 4 are neurotypical. Neurotypical being somebody who doesn't have autism. I'm neurotypical, though I doubt it, honestly.
I would say I'm a little...
I
don't know if I consider myself.
I think the word is neurodivergent, and I think that we're all neurodivergent in our ways. And I don't mean to Pollyanna that or be like, oh, well, we all have a little bit of autism. Like, no, I'm neurodivergent. I definitely see some pathways in my brain that maybe aren't normal. But there's 10 employees that have autism that work for me. And I wanted to hire more people, but also like, I can't be like, well, hey, so-and-so, you're doing a great job and you're getting more hours and more shifts. I'm going to take that away because I want to have more autistic people here to make me look cool. So you mind? I'm not doing that. So I decided I'm going to keep investing in my team. I've had guys working for me for 8 years and they want a raise and they want more hours or they just want stability in their schedule. So we're a small business. We only have so many. But I was kind of over it because I'm like, well, how do I connect with more autistic artists? How do I empower them? How do I give them money? Have some economic inclusion thrown in there for them. So, well, I had the equipment. I already know how to print shirts. So I said, well, what if we do autistic art? I'm going to do this call for autistic artists to submit their artwork. I'm going to pay them for their design and we're going to put them on t-shirts and we'll sell wearable art. We can put it on our website. It's all organized. So I opened that up, goodness, maybe a year ago. And we have 30 autistic artists, all from a lot from Columbus, but all over the country that found us through Instagram or through their grandma or through their mom or through themselves. And they submitted artwork. I pay $25 for each design that they submit. And then with every t-shirt they sell, they get $3 to $5 back, which teaches them about royalties. And then they get to share in the proceeds, which makes me feel good because I want economic inclusion. So maybe they're not an employee in the office, but they are a part of the Awesome Company team. And some people that have autism, that's enough. Like, not everybody wants the 9 to 5, 40 hours a week success story. Sometimes there's a person that created a beautiful piece of art and they were compensated financially for it. And then if someone walks up to them and goes, hey, Harold, what are you up to today? Well, what do you do for a living? They can say, I work at the Awesome Company. I'm an artist and this is my art. Here's my link and you can support me and you can buy t-shirts. And that's enough for some people. That's a success story. So that makes me feel incredible. And then I have another thing I'm doing. We have the screen printing company, custom screen printing. That's where we get our business. We need the schools, the businesses to come and buy t-shirts from us. And then we have the autistic artists through our website doing the wearable art. Well, we just moved to a bigger space. It's a warehouse space. So I created another area that we're going to create an art gallery. And I'm looking around. I don't see it. It's the first art gallery dedicated to showing only autistic artists. And it's in Grove City, and there aren't a lot of art galleries or, a huge art community down there. So I'm thrilled to bring that to that area town. So you have to come to the opening. My employees love attention. There's this preconceived notion that autism, it's so sad. And, we should just give them pizza parties and they're just grown children. No, these are smart, interesting people that are wired a little differently. They have jobs, they have friends. Maybe it's harder to find the job. Maybe it's harder to find the friend. I'm not trying to say, it's just rainbows and unicorns over here. But there is an empowerment and pride that I would love for you to see because it'll click in your brain and go, hell yeah, this is so different than maybe what I thought.
So I already think it's really cool. And in my head, I'm picturing, first of all, just your personality. I don't know what this is.
I have about 10 inside my body.
Whatever this is, this is good.
Thank you.
But
you too.
I can picture you though. You have these autistic employees who all probably have their own, and you know them so well. Mm-hmm. The dynamic has to just be just a lot of things.
They're the best coworkers in the world. And I get a lot oh my God, it's so wonderful what you're doing. And hey, thanks so much. But also if you could see how fun my coworkers are, my coworker Jonathan and I love Batman. And so we've had many discussions about who's the best Batman, Michael Keaton? We hate Ben Affleck. And these are my coworker conversations. Or I'll say, one of my employees, he wouldn't stop talking about the Civil War. And I'm I can't take it anymore. I got to work on payroll. You got to quit talking about the Civil War. This is the world I need to live in. These are my coworkers. These are my people. And I hope I'm their people too. So it is a blast working there. And it is real. There is no bullshit. You are who you are. And the word is masking. A lot of autistic people and neurodivergent people, actually all people, throw a mask on to get along socially, professionally, right? So it's exhausting for a neurodivergent person to be masking all the time. You take the mask off and you're like, oh, it's like taking your bra off when you get home. You're like, oh my God, it feels great. I'm gonna put sweatpants on. I want that experience when you come into the awesome company. So I say, take the mask off if you need to wear sweatpants, if you need to stim, which means you shake your hands a little bit. If you need to jump up and down, that's cool. If you need to rapid fire facts at me, we'll carve out the last 5 minutes of your shift and you can give me some ideas. That's the kind of environment that I want to work in. And it's also a successful environment. We're selling t-shirts. We are getting the job done. So that feels great.
Yeah. So I want to talk through, though, how we can get more people buying the shirts, printing the shirts. So I assume you have a bunch of wholesale accounts with people and you have a different, like I could say, hey, I'm looking for a shirt for this T-ball team or
yes,
whatever.
Yes, that's all it is. Everybody needs custom t-shirts for something. So all we're asking is to consider us. There are a lot of really great screen printers in Columbus. I respect so many of the owners, and it is kind of a collective. And you win some, you lose some. But for me, if somebody wants to connect with my business and they want shirts for their softball team or spirit wear for their business, or a restaurant wants, embroidered t-shirts, tote bags, let us do it. And when you're doing that, you're getting a great product. We have the best customer service ever, but you're also helping a mission that you can count on me. Like if you meet me, you'll go, I can trust her. I know what she's saying is true, and come on to the office and see what we're doing. So it's not just buying shirts. You're putting money in the pocket of autistic adults that wouldn't, finding employment is really difficult for an autistic adult. It is. And so I've found a formula where it works. And that's pretty precious, for me at least. So just buy t-shirts from us and think about us. Or, I don't know, like something on Instagram, or find one of our employees and write them a message and say, I think you're rad and you're cool and you're really smart. Like that's the stuff that's great.
When did you start this?
I can't remember if it's 2015 or 16. I've been saying 16. So 2016, I started it. And that's when I was doing the custom bags that were my first idea. And then it just kept growing as I don't know if it was during this interview, but Jenny Bauer made a comment that resonated with me because she's absolutely right. Like you don't make the decision on how your business changes. Your customers give you feedback, and that's how you evolve. That's absolutely correct. So I just listened to people saying, well, why don't you do this? Or can you do this? And I just kept saying yes. And then it evolved to a business that is self-sustaining. And it also makes me feel good that a lot of people think nonprofit, we're not a nonprofit. Like, fuck a nonprofit. I don't want to fuck a nonprofit. Well, I have a problem. I want to have sex with nonprofits. Just letting you guys all know I'm available. Actually, not available.
There's our social clip.
I'll have to ask for a pass for my partner, but maybe she'll be okay with it. Okay.
Fuck a nonprofit. I don't want to fuck a nonprofit. Well,
maybe
I would.
Fuck a nonprofit. All right, let's start that again. I don't want to fuck a nonprofit, but sometimes I get angry at nonprofits because you're like doing all this work and you gotta jump through all these hoops, and then the only thing you're paying for is the CEO's salary and their cell phone bill, and it pisses me off. I'm like, and also I hate following rules. So we're a for-profit business that actively recruits autistic adults to work for us. I also think it helps my employees. Like, I think they'd probably want to puke if one more nonprofit goes, oh my God, can I help you?
Right.
Like, of course say yes, because take free help, of course. But I think it rewires the brain going, well, if she says it and we're doing it, then yeah, fuck these nonprofits. Sometimes I get on my soapbox and I start ranting and raving about nonprofits and I sound like Scrooge.
Well, but you're right though. Because you're like, okay, because I'm employing autistic people, it doesn't, like all of a sudden you're saying, okay, we're a business.
Yes.
That is run mostly by people with autism. Why is that a nonprofit?
Because people think disabled adults deserve this like sunset path walk and like, oh, like it's so sad, bittersweet. And believe me, like I'm sure it's like that, but for me it's not. It's also sort of challenging where people are like, well, how can you be a for-profit business if you aren't playing autistic adults? Like, well, because I felt like doing it and you can't stop me because it's...
How can you not? I guess why? What does that question mean?
It means that people think disabled adults and children should just be thrown at nonprofits, and that's where they belong. That's where it's safe, and that's where it's okay. But if you throw them in the world, the real world, the world of economic inclusion, paychecks, respect, being valued, I think it's kind of hard to say, well, like, don't be mean to them, or like they need different things.
I think you've got a real life case study that shows that it works.
It works for us. I wish it worked for more people and their businesses, but I see why an adult with autism has certain needs that I can accommodate that maybe some businesses can't, and like respect if they can't. But if people are watching, like, holler at me if you want me to connect you with somebody who would be a good employee, or just one person. Like, you don't have to save a million people, but like, give one dude a chance, and who cares if he fucks around for a month and he needs some time. You'll have a good employee. It's just slow. It's like slow and steady wins the race. It's the tortoise, man. It's not the hare. You're right. For autism, it's that. That's slow and steady, and that's how you get a long-lasting employee. If you want to shove somebody that's neurodivergent in a 9-to-5er, like, good luck. They'd be like, this fucking sucks. I'm out of here. Yeah. And I mean, most of us would be too. Are tolerant. I think neurotypical people have a higher tolerance for bullshit, and neurodivergent people are like, I burn out, shut down. Their systems are more sensitive. That's my opinion.
So let's take a sharp turn.
Okay, left or right?
Because you said tortoise and hare, and then I thought pig.
Yes. Let's go back to pigs. I've been waiting. Like, why are we talking about my business? I just want to talk about pigs.
I want to save some ample time here because you talked about pigs multiple times on your form. So
I really wanted you to know.
And then at the end, you really hit it hard with the pigs. I'm like, I cannot wait to hear about the pigs. So where did that stem from? Like, when you were a kid, did you see a pig? Was it Charlotte's Web?
No. Are you from here?
Yeah.
Are you from
I'm from Lima.
Okay. Did you go to the Ohio State Fair?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to the Ohio State Fair every year. First time I went was kindergarten, like, that I could remember. And I went to that, like, pig building, and there was a mama pig in there with babies. And I was like, well, this is where I belong. And you'd go in. I hope everyone that's listening, the millions and trillions of people listening to me talk about pigs, can remember the Ohio State Fair, mama pig and babies. And they had, like, pig pencils, pig socks, pig paper, pig, like, thank you notes. So, like, I had my money. It was the day every year. So I'd go and buy my pig swag. I would look at the pigs and I'd be like, Mom, I really need a pig. Like, we just really need one. And she's like, no. And then that was it. So it was a habitual thing. And then Henderson Road had a pet store, and I used to ride my bike there, and they had a pig named Bacon, which I find a very offensive name. You can't name a pig something that you eat. Like, it's a cannibalistic name. But I used to go in there and be like, it's a good looking pig. I really want that pig. And so I'd be like, there's a potbelly pig. I was so close in 8th grade. I almost convinced my mom. And then she kind of was like, you have to quit manipulating me. I was so close. I'm a master manipulator when I want something. And I was this close. And she said, they don't allow pigs in Arlington. Get over it. So I've just been slowly fantasizing about it. Like, I'll follow a lot of pigs on Instagram. And then I bought this house in Powell, and I was allowed to have livestock. And so my wish came true.
So wait, when did you buy the pigs?
Last August.
Oh my gosh, so you're like in the honeymoon phase with the pigs.
I have a very funny story about the pigs, if you're ready for this.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Well, first of all, how many are there?
I have 3, but I got 2. I adopted a third one.
Okay.
So I found a pig breeder. I would have liked to adopted my first pig, but I was like, I can't get some pig that was abused or something, because I want to make sure I don't know what I'm doing. I had a plan. I listened to every pig podcast. I read pig books before I found the breeder from Minerva, Ohio. Her name is Autumn Whitaker. I became a fangirl of hers. Like, if she only knew how much I was obsessed with her. I'd be like, oh my God, Autumn just put a new pig up. Did you see her piglets?
Oh my God, stop.
What is Lucy doing? Oh my God, did you see her milk her cow? Like, I was... Okay, so
can this show go on for like 3 hours? Please?
Yeah, I have nothing to do. I don't want to go home because I have to go take care of animals if I come home. So I'm covered. This is my story. I got engaged, and Cassandra, who is my sweetheart, she's crying. She can't believe it. Oh my God, this is the best day of my life. And she hugs me, and I'm hugging her. I'm like, I'm so happy too. I can't wait to get married. It's going to be great. But like, she won't stop hugging me, and I love her. But I'm like, all right, like, time to stop hugging. And she's crying. This is the best moment of your life. And I said, it is. Okay. Flash forward, we're driving home from our engagement weekend and we're about to pick up the pigs. Like, we're on our way home. Pick up my 2 pigs I never had, dream come true. I go to Autumn Whitaker's house. I pick up my 2 pigs. I named them Doc and Marty from Back to the Future. It was going to be perfect. She puts them in the car. I have their little harnesses, and Cassandra is driving. I burst into tears, and I go, this is the best day of my life. You have no idea. Nothing is better than this. She's like, we just got engaged like yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah, that was good, but this is better because I have pigs and I didn't yesterday. She's like, you have children. I'm like, I don't care about them. I only care about these 2 pigs. And I touched their snout and just wept quietly in the car and like had my 8th grade girl moment of my dreams.
Ready to elevate your self-care game? Boss Gal Beauty Bar is a modern med spa offering everything from cosmetic injectables, lasers and microneedling, to medical-grade facials and skincare. Conveniently located in Clintonville, Grandview, Powell, and Easton, making self-care a priority has never been easier. Use code CROFT for $25 off your first visit. It's so fascinating.
It's beyond... I have another story. You can edit this out.
Oh, no.
Are you editing some things out so I can just yap?
I'm
Are you
not
gonna put the whole
editing
thing?
one syllable.
Okay.
Honey. Not one syllable
I was picking
so
up,
far as being edited.
My son went on his class trip, right? And I had just recently got my pigs. I might be talking about the pigs a little too much, but like, fuck it. I'm just really passionate. It was late at night. We were like waiting for the bus to show up, and there was like a pack of moms. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. I should just go, oh, hey, how are you? Oh, the bus is late. And I'm like, one person's talking about their kid. Oh, well, little Ben doesn't, I don't give a shit about Ben. You know what I mean? Like, they're just talking. I'm like, well, guess what? I gave my pig its first bath today, and nobody cared. And I was like, these people suck. I looked around. I was like, nobody cares. I tried to pull up my phone and show them a picture of my pig in the bathtub. They're like, oh, cute. Anyway, and they completely iced me from the conversation and kept talking about like their kids. And I was like, okay, cool.
That's a really great way to ensure that they don't ever engage.
I have on top of it. So that afterwards I was like, yeah, so maybe I should quit talking about pigs so much, because I like got iced out of a mom group because I was trying to show them pictures of my pig in a bathtub.
I actually think it's a great strategy.
I thought so too. And I did meet my friend Emily was like, I like pigs. So I was like, there's a good one right there, because she cared about the bathtub and the pig. Flash forward, I went to this like shopping open house, and you have to socialize your pigs. So I had a pig in a doggy bag, because you got to bring them out. You got to bring them out in the world. So I brought the pig to this. It was like a row house. They have those open houses with clothes at people's houses. And I was like, I'm just going to bring my pig. No big deal, but also like show off my pig, because I want everyone to know I have a pig. So I show up and I have my pig, and I shit you not, one of the moms that iced me out was like beep beep and got out of her car, and I saw her, and my pig started oinking. It was like, and she looked at me and she goes, "Are you that woman with the pig?" And I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, oh, okay. Is that your pig? And I was like, it's one of them. And then I was just like, and we just like quietly walked into this very nice lady's house.
No, it's not my pig.
Like, and she was like not nice. I was like, is that, oh, hey, are you the pig lady? And I was like, that's cool. I want to be the pig lady. But also like I was just going into this, like, I'm like getting red thinking about it, because I wasn't embarrassed, but it was just like, so it was so quiet. Like when I got out and we were just quietly walking, like, and he just started oinking so loud.
Because he had an energy.
Because I had a baby pig in a dog bag at a party.
But then were other people like?
People were thrilled.
They wanted to see the pig.
Well, he needed to get socialized.
I know, but were people excited to hang out with the pig?
Yes, they wanted to pet him. They gave him snacks. Great.
So what is it?
It was a great experience.
Okay, so tell me what has sort of been the trappings of having pigs that you didn't anticipate? Like, are they easier than you thought?
They're different. They're not like dogs and cats. They're hard. They're very smart, and they're a little destructive. But if you follow the rules, like you have to be the head bitch in charge. They got to know that you're the head bitch in charge. If they do that, they're very good. They're like, all right, she's in charge. We're going to do what she says. But if you give them the alpha state, they can be very naughty and like bite you. And like, they're very strong. They can nuzzle you with their nose. And I'm an assertive alpha female. So like, I was born to own pigs because I'm like, yo, you don't be doing that. And they listen.
So are they just roaming free in the house like any other?
No, they don't live in the house. I saw some of the people that had pigs living in their house, and I was like, their houses look like hellholes. So I'm not going to have my beautiful furniture attacked by pigs. They did live in the laundry room for many months. And a funny story, I got COVID soon after I got them. And they were in the laundry room, and I was upstairs sick, and I was yelling downstairs, telling my family, don't talk to them too much and don't bond with them because you can't steal my pigs. Like, I wanted them to bond with me, their mom, and I didn't want someone to steal their emotions. It was bananas. I would yell, like, just go in there and feed them and get out of there. Like, they'll be fine. So after they got old enough and it was warm enough, we have a barn next to our house, like a little pathway. So they live in the barn now, and they're very happy there, and it's heated. We have a television in there, and they listen to lullabies at night. They're with horses too. We have 4 horses and 3 pigs. It's a wonderful life. You should come over.
I'm not sure where I want to go first, to the warehouse in Grove City or to your...
I would want to go see the pigs first. I brought the pigs to work once. That didn't go well. They pooped everywhere. So they're not allowed in Grove City anymore.
And then was your partner into pigs too, or did she come over? Like, did you woo her?
She's a crazy animal lady.
Is she like the yin to your yang in terms of personality? Is she... Because you got an energy that's like
a lot,
very unique. I don't even know if it's just very unique. But I guess I'm questioning because you have a very specific sauce. So like, what is she like?
She's more gentle. She's much more emotional. I have a lot of thoughts. I'd struggle with feelings. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hug too much. I don't want to talk about love too much, but I can talk to you about anything. I have thoughts on all different things. So that's the yin and yang, is she is highly emotional and feeling feelings. So it's like good for me to be around. And she reminds me to be a human a lot, where I'm like,
do you get kind of robotic?
Avoidant. Oh. You know, like the love languages or whatever. It's like avoidant, anxious, or secure. I'm an avoidant on the mission to be secure. I'm definitely way further than I used to be. Like, meet me before I met her, I was very avoidant.
Just
in
by nature, or did something happen?
Probably childhood trauma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people, whatever happens to you, I don't know if you go down that analytical path, but for me, I've always just been very self-sufficient and resilient, and I do it my way, and I've always been that way. And my parents, I have great parents, and I'm sure they screwed up, and I'm sure they did really great things, but for me, I think it was like on Instagram, it was like, fierce independence is a trauma response, and I was like, oh shit, because that was me, because I'm so fiercely independent. I always have been. So,
but did you feel like you could, because like, can you look back on it and go, okay, maybe that was why? Because I'm pretty fiercely independent too, but I can go back and look at why.
I know why. My dad and my mom are very hardworking, and I think something that I heard my whole life was figure it out. We're like, I fell, we'll figure it out. And that is something that I think is missing in child rearing these days, where it's like, oh, let me help you. But like, I figured it out, and I was eating other people's lunches because I had figured it out. And maybe that was a little neglect, and maybe I was alone too much, or, you know, in the 90s, your parents were out doing other things and you were doing your own thing. And I loved it. I didn't sit around going, oh my God, where are my parents? I was like, fuck yeah, they're gone. I can swim in the pool and eat as many Pop-Tarts as I want. And I can steal their car when I'm 15 because they're not even here. They probably wouldn't even care if I drove to Kroger and bought my own food. Like, those were things that I did. And then in retrospect, I'm thinking, I have a 17-year-old son. He's never had to go to the grocery store and buy food because there was food in the house. Like, what the fuck? So some things start clicking where I'm like, oh, okay, this is why I'm fiercely independent and a little avoidant of emotion, because maybe they weren't around.
Yeah.
But they were
just doing, it's so crazy too. It's like they were just doing what they knew how to do with what the tools that they had.
As an adult, as a 42-year-old woman, I in deep appreciation of both my parents and what they contributed. And it doesn't mean it wasn't rough sometimes, but I can imagine my two sons are going to sit with me and have a similar conversation about perhaps things that I did well and things I could have worked on. I happily welcome the therapy session. I will be there. But meeting Cassandra, we've been together for 3 years, and she definitely met me at a time where I was open and trying to be less avoidant. I definitely still am in a lot of ways. And we met each other at the perfect time. And I was like, this is my person. And she is such a fangirl of mine, and I am of hers. But she definitely is I don't want to say she's quieter. She's from California. She's cool. She's got long blonde hair. She wears crazy outfits. And I fucking love her. She's so cool. She definitely brings out the warm fuzzies in me, even though I'm kind of going ick the whole time.
Well, you need that. You need a little bit.
I don't want it, but I need it.
Yeah, you need a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's definitely improved my life.
But do you snuggle with pigs? You'll snuggle the pigs.
They don't love snuggling, but
They're your perfect animal. Before we wrap this up, I want to recap on how I can help support the awesome company. So aside from this type of visibility, letting everyone who I know about it, shouting from the rooftops about it, maybe buy, like if there's a situation that I know of, sending people for, to get the shirts made.
That's all you can do. I mean, just having me here, I'm super grateful. And thank you so much for giving me your time. I hope I brought it because I want to do that. Like, it's a collaboration. So just having me here and letting me talk about my business and myself, I hope that might resonate with someone who maybe the next day realizes maybe their business needs some custom t-shirts, or their construction company, or their plumbing company, or their school needs spirit wear. Just holler at us and tell us your budget or tell us what you want, and we'll make it happen. And that's all it is, because I always say the t-shirts are the currency. It's the currency of connection, right? So we can buy t-shirts on the internet. They'll be super cheap probably, but you don't have that connection of the currency of connection. And so with us, if you want that, you know that it's local, and you know that you're going to get the best apparel possible, and you're going to have great customer service. We also deliver locally, and our drivers all have autism, and they're delivering the boxes to you. And then after the sale is complete, no matter if you buy one shirt or 1,000, you always will receive a handwritten thank you note by one of our autistic employees saying, hey, we see you. Thank you so much for your business, and please come back again. And it's just connecting with people and saying, well, maybe I'll give them a chance, or maybe I'm with this screen printer, but next time we'll try them out. Or maybe I'll flip-flop with both of these printers and see how we do. All we do is screen print. It's a really simple but powerful mission. The more t-shirts we sell, the more autistic people we can empower and employ. And I started with 1 employee, and now I have 10, and we have 30 autistic artists. And I would say the autistic people that have come through our door, I would say it's in the over 200 individuals. I've tried to count a couple of times that we've had internships. We've had people come in and work skills. So just buying a t-shirt, you're giving an opportunity for these individuals to come and work and try.
And what's great too about what you're doing, it begs the question, the bigger question, why aren't more people employing people with autism, or people who maybe just aren't in the quote unquote normal? So we're talking about diversity and inclusion.
There's neurodiversity that needs to happen.
But just when you see that bucket, there's so much that fits within that. And look at like Hot Chicken Takeover, where, employing people that were coming out of prison. There are so many people out there who are capable and who need work and want to work and will be really great, loyal employees. And I think what you're doing, it just sparks that broader conversation in my head.
I'm not saying that it's easy. My business plan is really challenging. And I think maybe some skills that I just have naturally have made it work out. And maybe other people don't have the ability to slow some processes down, or juggle so many people with different tasks, or maybe what they're doing doesn't lend itself well to the autism brain. So the foundation it is really hard. And I'll get off this rant. No, I'm just going to rant forever. There's like 95, when I first started, and I hope the number is wrong, but 95% of autistic people are unemployed. And my brain was like, oh my God, I got to make that number better. And now I'm like, there's actually a reason why it's 95, because there's 95, but I actively seek out that 5%. The 5% that wants the job, that wants the connection, that wants the friendship, but they just don't know how to do it, or they need some support and help along the way. So those are my people. And it does take a certain set of credentials, and you have to be slow, you have to be patient, you have to be creative, and you just have to enjoy being around autistic people and understand that they do have disabilities, and there are things that you're going to have to adjust. It's not the Jacquie show, even though I think I would love the whole world to be the Jacquie show, but it's not. It is for me when I'm by myself, I guess, like listening to Twisted Sister, walking my pigs down the street, but when I'm at work, it's about them. So what I would say is, one, it's a hard thing to do. I'm glad I accomplished it. I feel cool doing it. I feel like, haha, I got something on you. But like, all you had to do is just get one person in there who has disabilities. I'll come in there and tell you how to do it. Columbus on the Spectrum is a great organization. They'll come in and tell you how to do it, and nurture and slow and steady. You could have an employee. But also, what if you just helped somebody for a couple months and they said, thank you so much? Like, how fucking cool is that you contributed to their resume, helped teach them that maybe this wasn't the right path for them? Like, it doesn't always have to be this success story. It's just a nice pit stop. Like, why not offer it? Why not say yes, is my point. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Unless you have to go somewhere.
No, I don't.
Okay. So you seem like somebody who had like a goal, right? And you're like, I want to start this business. So after you started it and you got like, it was going and it was like a success, how did you feel? What was the feeling? I want to know if it's the same feeling I had. I didn't have that.
What'd you have?
I was fucking bummed. I had spent all this time thinking, once I do this, once I get payroll, once I can afford insurance, once I can pay somebody a living salary, once I get that school system, you know what I mean? Like, once the machine is going and the wheel's going, I want to like sit back and like cash my checks. Like, that's the feeling I had. And when I got there, I was like, oh my God, is this why people off themselves when when they reach success? Because I'm so fucking bummed. I hate it. I was like, this top of the mountain stuff is spooky. So I backed off and I was like, I got to do something else. So I'm actually scared of full success. I want to keep 2 steps down and keep trying for different things. Like, I do not want to sit on a mountain with the sun on my face, like with that namaste thing.
I don't think that would ever happen to me.
But that's the dream I had, as I thought, I'll feel good when.
Yep.
And then I realized, you remember the Miley Cyrus song, The Climb? Yeah. That song rules, by the way. And I was like, it's The Climb, man. Hannah Montana was right, because once you get there, you're like, well, this is boring. What's the next thing? And you just keep going. So that's my goal, is I just keep climbing up whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. I think with my personality and the whatever psychology I've got, I don't think I would ever be the person to be like, I've arrived. I've always got this sort of like, is it an underdog mentality, where I'm always like,
I think it's like dopamine. Like, I think it's like a brain thing where you need like a little dose of something to keep you.
But I feel like I don't know that I'd ever be like, yep, here's the flag and I'm at the top of the mountain.
And why do women always say they don't like the word moist? Why? Like, shut up. I don't care. Is that something that we all need to care about?
No, but moist is a weird word.
It doesn't bother me.
Unless you're talking about like a cake.
It doesn't. It makes me feel like it's probably going to be good. Is it because I'm a lesbian?
There's a lot of like, what are you thinking about? Like, so this, fluidity of, oh, I'm a lesbian, I'm hetero, I'm homosexual, hetero. But it's really kind of like we're all kind of fluid on this spectrum a little bit. Mm-hmm. But like, you're seeing all this like curiosity with some of these like famous women too. Like, people are like dipping their toe.
Welcome, come on in.
I know. I think it's interesting.
I think it's wonderful because
do too.
It's scary. It's scary to change. It's scary to show who you are. It's scary to be different. It's scary to shed skin. It's also scary to stay the same a long time. Everyone has a different story, but I find that it's just all very subjective and it's very personal, and people just love who they love. And I'm for it. Like, big age gaps, gender switcheroos, fluidity, like, just love each other.
Yeah,
like,
just
who
go
gives
for
a
what
shit?
you're
We're
feeling.
literally skin suits, walking around a rock. We're entertaining ourselves till we drop dead. Like, that's really all we're doing here. So why not be around people that you like and like that's it. Metal, soft rock songs. Nothing is better. I weep when I'm having a bad day. I'm like, I just like listen to Patience and I'm like, nobody understands me.
Except the pigs.
But then I switched to Celine Dion where
you had a Michael Bolton song on there.
You don't understand. Michael Bolton, I Said I Loved You But I Lied, is the best soft rock song of all times. Also watch the video. He's wearing a denim outfit. There are eagles. There's fire. There's hot chicks. There's horses. There's canyons. This video must have cost $100 million. There was drones. And I watch it and sometimes I get chills and I get teary-eyed over Michael Bolton. And Cassandra recently, he was on tour and he was like at a wine place. We got tickets and Michael Bolton has brain cancer and he's okay. But I was like, couldn't see him. So I'm waiting patiently for Michael Bolton to heal so I can go see him. I'm a Michael Bolton fan, big time. He's so good. He's so cute and sweet. I know I'm standing by myself. I know I've lost a lot of new friends maybe, but I can't help it. Cassandra, when I play it, she just like kind of backs out of the room. My children are like, oh God, she's doing it again.
So how often do you play that song?
I probably listen to I Said I Loved You But I Lied once a week since it came out in the 90s. See how I'm kind of autistic?
I feel like you have found the most perfect corner of the world for you.
Grove City, Ohio.
I feel like, but I feel like all personally and business. I feel like you have found sort of this perfect space for yourself.
Yeah,
professionally
I hope so.
And personally, and it's awesome. I mean, like, you can just feel it.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
I think I worked hard to get here.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the
show. Thank you so much for having me. You're cool.
I feel like the next guest is going to have a lot of trouble.
Yeah, try to beat that.
I'm going to be like,
Kimberly Shepard. You're saving lives, and I'm raising pigs and talking about movies.
If you're still out there following your girl, follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, keep moving, baby. Keep moving.
That was fun.
That was amazing.